Welcome back, everyone. This is Dave and Stacie from Corn Productions, here to do a rewatch commentary video from Season 1, Episode 2. I didn't even look up the episode's title. Do you remember?
The Way Things Were?
The Way Things Were. Okay.
Something like that?
Basically how this works is you're going to watch along with us as we watch the episode. We're going to live react to the episode as it plays. No notes, no preparation of any kind. We're just winging this thing.
Yeah, and put all of your comments as you watch along with us into the comment section of this video. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull up your MGM Plus account, load Season 1, Episode 2, and we right now are looking at MGM Presents, which is at the 1 minute and 54 second mark. So fast forward or watch the previously on section, and when you get to 1 minute, 54 seconds, pause it, and then we're going to start it together when everybody's ready.
All right, and we're doing a 3-second countdown, right?
3-second countdown.
All
Make
right.
sure you're got your show lined up, you're comfortable, you have your cup of tea.
Or your Corn Productions mug, which we don't have with us this time, but feel free to purchase that in the Zazzle store.
Yeah, your doggy to cuddle with.
If you have one. Hey, I forgot to mention Lily's also with us today.
She's down here.
Yeah, usually
She's
napping.
hiding.
Okay, so...
All right, 1 minute, 54 seconds. I've got MGM Presents on the screen. If you didn't watch this with us last time, what we're doing is we're watching on mute so that we don't have that copyrighted audio in the video. We're watching with the captions on, and but you don't have to do that. You can play it like regular and play us also and comment, and yeah, let's talk about everything in this episode.
One more thing, I didn't mention this at the top last time. There are definitely going to be spoilers.
Definitely spoilers.
Throughout the entire series presented here. I don't know what we're going to talk about as we talk because, like I said, we did not script this. So just be prepared for spoilers.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the first 2 seasons, you should probably do that before doing the rewatch.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, and we're going.
All right.
Oh, we have birds chirping. We got this lovely sky.
Oh, yeah. So we're looking up at the trees, and this is the scene. I remember being confused by this the first time this played through. Because we're going to do a, so many hours ago thing, but they don't actually tell us that's what we're doing. So this is actually Kenny chopping down this tree after he's discovered his dad, right? Which we don't learn that until later in this episode.
Yeah, when I rewatched this, I thought I missed something. Do
you have the right episode?
Skipped a couple episodes, yeah.
And that was real quick before we get to our theme song.
Que sera, sera.
Which isn't always the case. Sometimes there's whole scenes, but this was just that quick little shot of Kenny covered in his dad's blood chopping that tree. Which we know, after watching, he's trying to remake his chess set.
When he gets asked by his dad, which unfortunately is not going to be, he did indeed chop down the cherry tree. Okay, that was a horrible one. But, you got to live with my sense of humor occasionally. At least it's not Adam here. You got to appreciate that fact. It's funny because the first episode ended last week when we were doing that rewatch, and I could have sworn there was more stuff that was supposed to happen.
The thing. When you watched, right, you binged the first season.
Right, I crammed it within a matter of a week.
And when I watched, the first 2 or 3 episodes were launched at once, so I got to see those together. But then every week after that, I've been watching the show live. So you watched the first season binge, and then the second season weekly as, we podcasted it. Everybody watching on YouTube, how did you watch this series? Did you watch it week by week as it aired on Epix and then later MGM Plus? Or did you binge the first season like Dave did and pick up with the second season? I know a lot of fans just found the show when the second season was starting.
There was a lot of confusion surrounding that too, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. Or did you, binge watch the whole thing after the 2 seasons were over? Or maybe you're watching this in the future and the whole series is over and you've watched 5 seasons and you're like, what do you mean? Of course, da-da-da-da-da. But we've only seen 2 seasons here in the date that we are recording this.
Yep. So in the future, I hope you enjoy the other 20 seasons of the show.
Right? No, their goal is 5. They've said that they want 5. Hopefully they get the chance to tell the story as they've designed it.
Yeah, it shouldn't really be any more than 5. It shouldn't keep going. And we start with some rain.
Yeah, so it's raining.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it doesn't rain.
I guess you're wrong. I guess we're all wrong.
It's raining that first night. Okay. So we're back in the RV where we left off with Ethan having his seizure, and his dad Jim is there as well as Christy trying to hold him, and Boyd doesn't know what to do. He's just kind of in the background.
And yeah, I think we're hearing some monsters right now. Basically, they're crawling around on the roof. And Jim is really confused.
Yeah, he's like, oh, the people came back to help, right? Why won't you let them in? And, they haven't told him anything yet.
Right,
so
right.
His response here is not out of line. Like, there's people trying to get in. What's the problem? And
yeah, now basically Jim and Boyd are fighting. And yeah, he's got him in a chokehold. Yeah, it's pretty kind of not pleasant. And I suppose that they go through this with everybody. And Jim's like, all right, fine. I'm not gonna do anything.
I hadn't realized it was raining this night.
No, me neither.
I don't know why I never picked up on that fact, because I have watched this several times.
So apparently there is different types of weather
There is different types of weather, but we're told like the seasons have never changed.
Right. So there's probably not any snow.
2. Yeah.
So yeah, Katri and Ellis are running with Julie.
Unless this rain is new too, and they just didn't address it. That's possible that along with the Matthews came the start of changes.
And they're lugging around an unconscious Jade.
Yeah. So this group here, they just abandoned the truck after, all of the tires got blown out on the strip, and they're running for Colony House, which they said, we think we can make it there. And now we're seeing inside Colony House, really, for the first time. We saw, Ellis's bedroom before, but now we're seeing, like, this whole group of people that live here that do not want to open this door for anything. We're pretty much told at this point, it doesn't matter that our own people are outside. We're not opening the door because they could be monsters, or the monsters could get in with them. And, of course, Fatima is, Ellis is there. Obviously, they're real people. They're running. We know the monsters don't run. And Ellis is there. Let him in.
Now, if Ellis hadn't been there, and sorry for picking up an old argument from our podcast, do you think Donna would have just let them die?
I don't know. If it was only strangers...
Mm-hmm. If there was nobody that she recognized,
yeah. Right, they might think, oh, it's a trick.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They might not know, but because not only is Ellis there, but Kenny's there and Katri's there, and maybe they'd still open the door for them, even though they're not their people, they know them.
So Julie is being manipulated by a monster.
Right.
Many people thought that this monster was taking the form of
somebody she recognized. Even Hannah, I saw an interview she did early on where she was like, "Oh yeah, they take the form of people we know," and we know now that's not the case.
Right. That monster will show up in season 2.
Even the actress was confused by the scene that they were filming because again, the actors don't know what's going on. They just have the scripts. They don't know more than we do. As far as, up through what they filmed at the time.
Yeah, and so they're all let into Colony House despite the objections of the soldiers at the front door.
Yeah, because Donna stepped in.
Yeah.
And was like, let them in.
But they're still going to end up tying up Fatima is not being tied up, Julie and Tabitha.
Yeah, they're tying up Julie and Tabitha.
And they're really confused. They don't know what the heck is going on.
They're like being held prisoner. They're like, they don't even know about the monsters. They saw these guys outside, but like, what was that about?
And now we're back in the RB.
Yeah, going to be cutting back and forth between these 2 different locations throughout this episode.
And I think now he's going to get explained what's going on by Boyd.
Right.
And it does beg the question why he didn't try to do this before, but maybe he just didn't think Jim was going to believe him.
Yeah, so he's explaining the talismans, which as a viewer, like, we kind of saw something about the talismans. We saw, like, everybody touch them and set them up the night before, but this is the first time, like, we're being told.
Yeah, we're getting the explanation finally.
Right, that, like, if you hang them up, they keep the monsters out. But, he says, it's the first time we've ever tried it, in a vehicle, so...
Right. And yeah, they have no idea how this is going to work. So far, it seems like they haven't died, so that's a good sign, right?
It's a good sign. I don't think it's going to play out different this time.
No, I don't think so.
The other times we've seen it. And Ethan wakes up.
And that is not a good time to be awake, that's for sure. Now, has he gotten painkillers at all?
It looks like she's got a sedative right now. How much do they have in the way of painkillers?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, she did have a full medicine cabinet of a bunch of stuff, but we don't know how many of that.
But we were told, she told Donna she doesn't even have aspirin for her.
Right.
So I don't know.
And they're basically tying up Jade at Colony House, even though he's unconscious. And that's, I forgot what her name was.
Trudy.
Trudy. She thinks that he's pretty cute.
Yeah, she's very interested in Jade. She'll continue to have that opinion as long as we see her.
Yes.
And she wants his watch.
Yeah, Trudy is basically a klepto. Or basically, I mean, that's kind of the attitude in Colony House in general.
Colony House, they don't have any rules. The rule is we all share everything. Which I don't know if they really explain that. Like, she says it. Mm-hmm. But I think she's the only character that told us that in season 1.
I think Fatima had that conversation with Julie at some point. Some type of conversation.
But I think it was specifically talking about Trudy. I don't think it was really like, everything's, what's mine is yours.
So we have Tabitha basically tied up. She's upstairs with Donna. And I mean, like, how would you react in this situation? You would, as far as you're concerned, you're probably being taken hostage.
Right, and even the people that, helped her at the RV aren't around anymore.
So this entire situation would be really, really confusing.
So this is Donna's bedroom, and we see that calendar on the wall. That's come up in the groups a lot. It's got, is that the one with 1978 on it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So wherever, they haven't moved it in a long time. And it's from that same moving company that Boyd used when he came, that we have that trailer from. And it's got, like, dates crossed off of it and then a question mark at the end of the month. So something was happening.
Maybe they just kind of lost track of time and just put a question mark. Is this the date? I don't know.
Or is that the date they expected something to happen?
Ooh, something very bad.
When the massacre happened.
And
who was living in this room that was keeping track of this on that calendar?
There is a theory that basically from repeat cycles. So the things that we've seen throughout the 2 seasons have happened before. And I think Julie is about to, he's about to encounter Victor.
So this is our first time seeing Victor.
It's not a good first impression.
Scott McCord, who does amazing with this character.
Yes.
And of course the first thing he mentions is Peaches. He's got his lunchbox in his hand, which never leaves his side until the end of season 2.
And, I mean, like, Victor, I wasn't so sure about his character, but as the series progressed, he became one of my favorites.
And he's explaining how, he's not supposed to take the peaches, but Donna's okay with it. But look, he's willing to share.
Right.
He's a good guy.
Yeah. Under the best of circumstances, Victor can come off a little bit on the creepy side. But in this situation, it's that much worse.
Because she's just like, who's this weird guy offering me peaches while I'm tied up in somebody's kitchen?
That's not a serial killer or anything. And I think she's going to get rescued by Fatima in the situation. Yep, there she is. Do we meet Dale in this episode?
I don't recall ever seeing Dale until episode 7.
Okay.
It's possible he's there at some other point, but I don't recall meeting him until then.
So this is the first time that Julie and Fatima are meeting, and this is I would say, a cornerstone relationship in the series. It's definitely an important relationship.
Yeah, so Fatima's explaining how she's Julie's proxy, and she's just here to help her get acclimated to the situation. And Donna obviously is having the conversation with Tabitha, thank you. I bet it just feels really weird to them. They're separated, like...
Why not have them together? Why separate them like this?
I don't know.
Wouldn't that just increase the anxiety?
Right.
Especially from Tabitha's perspective.
And, this isn't just another person. It's like her kid.
Right.
She's a teenager. She's not a grown adult. Although she gets treated like one here.
Right. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they think that together they would be less manageable for some reason. And Fatima ends up untying Julie, and they go into... I didn't even realize this happened in this episode. I thought this happened at... My memories of these episodes are just so all over the place.
Yeah. So she brings her up to her and Ellis's bedroom, which is like in the attic. And she is taking a different approach than Donna is, right? Donna is like, you're staying tied up, and I'm just going to tell you the hard facts about it. Fatima's trying to make it a little more comfortable.
I've said this before. Donna is a blunt instrument. And whereas, other people take a softer approach than Donna.
Yeah, Fatima's really good at being a proxy. I mean, we've seen her do it multiple times throughout the 2 seasons. Get the idea that she's been a lot of people's proxies. And she's just really good at talking to people. And so she's, showing her, like, it's okay to look outside from this hide. And she gave us this, I don't know if she said it or not yet, this line about a nightmare.
Yes. Beautiful line.
Even a nightmare can look like a dream.
Yes. And she's saying it right now. Yeah.
If you climb high enough, even a nightmare can look like a dream. So she's like, just look straight out at the horizon. Just don't look down, because that's where the monsters are. And of course, if you look at the monsters, they're going to come try and get in the house.
Right, and they're going to try to manipulate you in any way they can. And the monsters, meanwhile, are like basically screwing with the RV people. Like, oh, you should let us help you. Maybe we can help, with Ethan's leg. I'm sure they would get him out.
Yeah.
I mean, he wouldn't be in good shape afterwards.
They'll leave his leg.
Yeah,
They'll just take everything, in the midsection. They seem to just take, like, the organs.
Yeah. What do you suppose that's about?
I don't want to guess.
Okay.
I mean, we don't know. Are they eating them? Are they harvesting them? Are they bringing them to a giant spider? I mean, I've seen that theory.
Maybe they're like juggling. Because when they're bored, they juggle organs. So, yeah, we're having a tense night in the RV. Especially for...
Jim seems to be listening to them for the most part. He seems to, be like, okay, so what do we do? Like,
right. I think after being nearly choked out by Boyd, that he's a little bit more receptive to the message.
I don't know if he necessarily believes them, but he's not trying to, get away from them. And somebody's on the RV, one of the monsters, or multiple monsters.
I wonder if it's Smiley. I don't recall seeing Smiley until, episode 7
Boyd's helping Christy deal with some anxiety she's having here about this whole situation.
Is Boyd going to help me with the anxiety? Yeah, so she's trying to calm her down so that she can perform, basically surgery on Ethan. Get the rod out of Ethan's leg. And it's really interesting to see Kenny and Father Khatri interacting, and he's really, really mad. He doesn't appreciate the tactics of Colony House.
Yeah, they don't like that we're playing by Colony House's rules now. Remember, the town and the Colony House live completely separate. They have their own laws and rules and way they do things, and obviously we learn here that the town doesn't like to just tie people up, although we tied up Toby at the clinic.
Right.
I don't know.
And Kenny is kind of hostile with Ellis here, which is interesting because they seem buddy-buddy for almost the rest of the series. I'm not sure why he's so ready to basically get into it with Ellis. Rewatching the series sometimes, especially in the first season, Kenny is a little bit of a hothead.
Yeah.
At times. Yeah, he seems to have, like, be really quick to anger sometimes.
Yeah, he's just not... He's not cool with this situation, and it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse for Kenny.
Right, yeah.
Tonight and the rest of the series. You know, he doesn't have the nickname Poor Kenny for nothing.
Yeah, definitely earned that nickname, that's for sure. Wondering if we're going to see Mrs. Wu here.
I don't think so.
I think, wow.
I don't think we do.
Okay, so yeah, this is definitely the episode where that happens.
Yeah, so we're in the basement of the clinic. Nurse Gina is staying here with Mr. Liu.
Now, why exactly do you think the voices or whatever have Sarah do this? Is it just to cover up for the murder of Jade's friend?
I see it as, yeah, she was instructed to kill Toby, and the only reason these people get caught in this is because she's leaving the door open to make it look like the monsters did it. But if that's the case, why didn't you just leave the door open and let the monsters do it?
Right. You could.
What was the point of hand murdering him?
I don't know. Maybe they thought of it after the fact.
We've got all those Halloween decorations in the background.
So yeah, Carla Mack would appreciate that.
It gives us the indicator that, you know, the last time this was used as a school, which we don't know when or where or how that was, but this used to be a school, and they were doing some kind of Halloween production. So whatever happened around Halloween with this building. I kind of think, like, maybe all the buildings, like, were imported from different places and times. I don't feel like this itself used to be a working town, necessarily. I mean, the electricity.
Right.
I feel like just the buildings were kind of imported or constructed from something else.
I don't
know.
So they were never, like, functioning here. They were just brought from somewhere else?
Yeah, you notice how the people were? And, like,
yeah.
There's that, like, Hawaii vacation sign, which obviously doesn't belong in a small town like this.
Right.
We've got the hotel sign and the pool, but no hotel.
It could be,
motel.
For some reason, maybe the people they brought in had those signs with them. I don't know why. And yeah, this is a really unpleasant scene where they're taking the rod out of Ethan's leg.
Yeah, and he's just like, please stop. And they're like, yeah, we can't stop. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a really hard scene to watch. I don't think I would handle this very well, for sure.
Yeah, look at that. Now, we were saying last episode, people complaining about how, you know, he's still using a walking stick 2 weeks later. Come on. Look at that. It was like a 2-3 inch thick thing that literally was through his whole leg.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I feel like in real life,
you would
not in, you know, Fromville where he heals quickly.
Probably never.
You'd be bedridden for a long time, and then
if you're lucky to ever get,
you might lose the whole leg.
Yeah, probably.
All right, so we get to see the aftermath. Last time we saw Sarah and Toby, she had just stabbed him, and now she's cowering in the corner, crying over what she did. He is just dripping blood, disgusting mess.
Now, this is the clinic, right?
This is the clinic, yeah.
And nobody's discovered this yet?
So she's upstairs. Gina and Mrs. Liu are downstairs in the basement, which is where he sleeps.
Okay, so she's now getting the command to open up the door so that everybody's going to die.
First, she's going to cut his tongue out, I believe, is the next step. And I think it's to make so that they can't examine him and see that she, like, shoved something through his tongue. I don't know, because, like, a comparison's made to episode 7 when Jasmine bites out what's his name, Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin's tongue. So does it have something to do with the tongues?
Jasmine got your tongue?
And yeah, I think they're saying now, like, oh, make it look like the monsters did it. And she's going to cut out the tongue with a scalpel. Not the only time we'll see this girl use a scalpel from the clinic. And then leave the door open. So not only is she murdering this guy, but causing the death of the 2 other people in the building.
And she doesn't look happy to be doing it either.
No, she doesn't want to do this. But she's under the impression that if she doesn't do this, they're all going to get killed. Mm-hmm. She's pretty much told, if you don't do this, you're going to die. But if you do this, you know, you guys are going to get to go home.
Right.
We're going to save you and your brother and all these people if you just do what we're telling you to do.
And we have another good scene between a calmer Kenny and Father Kotry. He's getting...
They're drinking.
Yeah.
Some of Tom's vodka there.
Is it Tom's vodka?
Well, it's moonshine of some kind.
Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if, like, does Tom make the vodka and then give it to the people in the town, or do they all make their own alcohol?
I mean, I'm under the impression that they all share food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though they're separate communities. Mm-hmm. When we see in season 2 Donna and Mrs. Liu like prepping food, it doesn't feel like it's the first time they've done that.
Right.
So I think they come together and share their resources and their skills, and
they just live differently.
You know, Tom built the still, so yeah, probably he distributed the booze to Colony House. Maybe my guess. We could ask Reed. He probably won't know.
Right. We could. You want to call him up? And yeah, Kenny doesn't want to go to the RB in the morning because he's worried that
he'll find them all dead.
Right, and he can't handle that.
He can't handle it. Like, yeah, he says after seeing Lord and Megan, he's not sure. Now, I don't know if they've ever really told us how long was his dad living in the clinic.
I'm not really sure.
Like, we get a flashback in season 2.
It's not really clear
of
how...
when that happened. Like,
right.
When was that? Like,
right.
And because that's when Kenny, you know, took over being deputy. It was around that same time. Mm-hmm. There hasn't been an incident in 3 months, so has it only been that short amount of time?
So we have Julie sitting in the room while Ellis comes in, not aware that she's there, and he starts stripping off his shirt. And
yeah.
It's awkward for Julie.
Yeah, now it's awkward for him.
Good thing he didn't keep going.
So, yeah, Fatima's in the restroom. We get here a great view of that mural, which I talked about last episode. This is... Did I talk about that on the air?
I'm not really sure.
That's a mural by Jack Bender.
We did actually talk a little bit about that.
I know for sure he did this one because he posted it online recently that it's in his art book that he published. And you see how they use the tire prints in there? I mean, this is being presented as Ellis's work. I've seen some people question, like, oh, who painted this? Where did it come from? Pretty sure it's Ellis. Like, he's a painter. Look, he's got art all over the room.
Yep.
And it's obviously, to me, he made this, and it's him and Fatima. I don't see any doubt that that's what this is a picture of.
Right.
But, like, the tire prints, like, I've seen other Jack Bender art that uses tire prints. Like, that's a style he's used before.
So, the picture in the credits of the nearly naked guy and girl is Fatima and Ellis?
It's from that mural. I'm pretty sure it's a close-up of it, yeah.
What were they doing when they were painting this picture? Is that just like an imagined picture, or is that something they actually did?
I've seen comparisons that, like, oh, it's like supposed to be the Garden of Eden.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Adam and Eve.
That's the impression I got. But
I don't know. So Donna thinks that giving Tabitha a drink is going to help.
This is I mean, it might calm the nerves a little bit, but she's talking about her sister.
Yeah, so we get that picture, a picture of the picture she has framed of her and her sister, and she's, you know, the way she's telling this to Tabitha is by telling her, here's how bad it is. Here's my story. And a lot of people don't believe Donna.
Right.
A lot of people think Donna is somehow in on this, and this whole story is made up because we never get to see it. I don't know. I want to believe her.
Yeah, I never really buy the whole Donna is a mole thing.
I don't think anybody's in on it, to be honest.
We've seen Donna when she's alone.
Yeah.
And you know, her vulnerable moments.
I think that she just feels responsible for everybody. And doesn't necessarily want to be. And
that doesn't make her too different from Boyd, really, when it comes down to it.
Right.
Which is why I think that they make for such an amazing relationship. Is because they're very similar people in some respects. Well, Boyd is more diplomatic than Donna is, for sure. But I think they both have the weight of leading the town on their shoulders.
Right.
And that's kind of what they end up ultimately bonding over. And Donna's not afraid to call him on his shit. So that's why one of the reasons why I think they have such a great relationship.
Mm-hmm. So she's talking about how her sister got out and was, trying to get this person in the road to move. And they ripped her face off.
Ouchie. I think that seems like an extreme reaction to just being told to move. Like,
And this is the problem with getting to town at night.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Donna's been there longer than any of the residents other than Victor.
Right.
She's been there for about 3 years, a little over 3 years, based on her missing poster dates. Now, the current date within the story is February 22nd, 2022, which is the night that episode 1 aired. And that's the day that's listed as the Matthews family's missing date.
Gotcha.
So using that as the date of when this is happening, we can place the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And the next very specific date we get is episode 7, we know is February 28th.
Right.
So
3 days after my birthday.
6 days pass between this night and the night that Colony House falls in episode 7. And that's because we know it was Fatima's 1-year anniversary of arriving.
Right.
So her date listed on her missing poster is February 28th.
So, yeah, this story that Donna tells about how her sister died is pretty chilling. And I think Tabitha would definitely need another drink after hearing it.
So what do you think of her picture of her sister? I've seen a lot of people saying, like, oh, well, it doesn't make sense. Why would she be traveling with a picture of her and her sister?
I don't know. Like, maybe she had it in her glove compartment or something like that, and she just had some pictures in her glove compartment. I've done that.
Yeah, I don't
don't
think it's necessarily weird, but some people think it's really weird. Maybe those are younger people that aren't familiar with even having printed pictures.
Right. I mean, there's a million reasons why it could have been there. I don't necessarily think it means anything. I definitely don't, like I said, I don't think that Donna is lying about this story or that she's the mole or anything like that, really. And what is Julie, what is she doing right now?
Christy.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I said Julie. Christy, that's an RV.
We're in the RV.
That's,
and she's doing an IV.
Which is
with
what I meant to
saline
say.
solution in a jar. And this is where we learned that she's a third-year med student. And
she now has to take on the medical welfare of everybody in town.
And we learned that Jim's a theme park engineer.
And Chrissy's kind of like, oh, you're still talking about it like, present tense as opposed to past tense because, hey, you're no longer a roller coaster engineer. You're stuck here now.
Yeah. But you can be an engineer from Mill. We could use that.
Yeah, but he's probably not going to build roller coasters.
Probably not.
I mean, he could. I'm sure he could find some way to do it.
Well. All right, so Ethan, now, I think everything that comes out of this kid's mouth is important. He's talking about he saw the Lake of Tears, which was brought up in the first episode, his story in the RV with his imaginary friend Norman. And he said he saw all these pictures on the wall. At the same time, we're seeing the pictures now. This is Victor's room. Ethan's telling us he saw Victor's room in his dream.
Now, my assumption is the Lake of Tears ends up being the Brundles.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's something I thought we were going to end up with the Lake of Tears by the end of season 2, but we haven't figured that part of the story out yet.
And it just occurred to me that this is another Under the Dome similarity. Lake of Tears, the pink stars. That's something we'll talk about more in depth when we talk about Under the Dome.
It all happening while kids are having seizures.
Seizures, yes.
Alright, so a spider came down from the ceiling. In Ethan's dream.
Yeah. You suppose that might be
and
symbolizing...
We'll get a reference to spiders later in the season. Whether or not that's more important to the big picture is yet to be seen.
So, Kenny is drunkenly walking up the stairs with Katri. I remember some things happening earlier. I thought this happened later. This scene between the two of them, and this is where we actually talk about how the situation with his dad, like how they ended up in Frumville for starters.
Is that this?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So he's telling about how his dad had dementia and was leaving the house, and they went to look for him, and let's see, he took a bus all the way to the city, and I forget where they're from. I want to say Texas.
That would make sense.
I could be wrong, but I feel like they were from Texas.
So it's interesting that basically Mrs. Wu was really angry, while Kenny was like more understanding. And that seems like really true to life, like where the kid is kind of more trying to be understanding, whereas the spouse is really angry, and not so much as the person, but
the situation.
The disease and the frustration, and the weight of having to take care of this person. And yeah, I remember this being a really good Katri Kenny scene.
I don't know if we got many.
No, probably not.
After this episode.
Nope.
So some random Colony House residents, like, not happy that they're blocking the stairs. And they're going up because Ellis told them they prepared a room for them on the 3rd floor. Mm-hmm. Where do they have an extra room that they prepared a room for them? I'm
not sure. The only one I can think of is the one Jade is currently
Right, he's in it right now.
Right.
Like, we'll learn later that, soon when, the Matthews family staying here, that, like, people sleep throughout the whole living room. Yet there's a spare room? I'm a little confused by that.
Hey, for those of you who constantly talk about how they never take showers, we're seeing Sarah take a shower.
Yep, we don't need to see it every episode.
No. And it's not a very pleasant shower because she's getting blood off of her, but, she's still a pretty woman.
And Nathan, he says he didn't hear her come in. Mm-hmm. And she tells him now. She confesses everything to her brother. Tells him, like, pretty sure she tells him everything that happened.
I can't believe Avery Conrad is in her 30s. She looks, like, really, really young. She's, like, in her... I thought she was, like, in her early 20s. And Kenny's father is being put to bed. He's going to be really permanently put to bed soon. He's talking about how the night is scary. Yeah. And he could be talking about the fact that there's monsters at night, but maybe he's kind of having some kind of premonition about what's going to happen.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like he had more to communicate. Mm-hmm. Both this and in the earlier scene when they were talking and he was asking for his son.
Right. So maybe he somehow sensed what was going to happen.
And Gina goes upstairs.
And she's about to make a very startling discovery.
Yeah, that Toby is... he's a big bloody mess.
No wonder Sarah had to take a shower after. So, yep, she runs away from that, and
there's the door.
And we see Smiley.
Is that who it was? I blinked.
That's Smiley.
It's Smiley, and it's the young nurse, whose outfit will later be seen on an older woman.
Yes.
Which is a questionable situation. Mm-hmm. That the exact same outfit is being worn by an older extra. Oh,
and we have Christy having a dream sequence of Jim taking the talisman.
He takes off the talisman, and then a monster comes down from the ceiling, similar to the way Ethan was describing a spider dropping down. Mm-hmm. So could this be foreshadowing that the monsters are arachnid?
Maybe. But then Christy wakes up from her nightmare of dying bloodily and horribly, and it's morning time now.
It's morning. Ethan's okay. Everybody lived. The talisman held up. They must be awful tired.
I can imagine they would be.
They don't get a lot of sleep throughout this series, to be honest.
Right.
We have a lot of busy nights where I don't know how these people are still standing, to be honest.
Yeah, that's before you can't go to sleep, otherwise you're gonna die.
So he's looking at the talisman. I think he's almost surprised that it worked.
Yeah, I think he expected to die.
Yeah, and here's the van, which we'll get to know a lot in future episodes. The van from Colony House. They've come to check on the family, see if everybody died.
Julie could definitely use a change of clothes. They're a little dirty. So we get a reunion.
Reunion of the Matthews family. They're all alive. They're all happy that we've made it another day.
Kenny hugs the love of his life, Christy. And that's only been hinted at. We don't actually know too much about that at this moment.
And of course she's over the moon that, her husband and her son are okay. And I think at this point she believes the story about the monsters, at least to some degree. And she maybe didn't think they were going to...
Is Ethan walking in that scene?
...be here. I don't know.
I figured they would, carry him off on a stretcher or something.
About the little girl in a room... Wait, what did she just say? She had a dream about a little girl in a room surrounded by broken glass. I don't know what that's about.
Is it maybe what happened to Megan?
I don't think there's any broken glass involved in that. And the glass cuts her skin.
Well, whatever it is, it's not a very pleasant dream.
And she bleeds all over the floor. I mean, we get a broken glass and picking it up and when we see her and Mrs. Liu.
Right.
I hear their voices, and it's just like the broken glass. They told me it had to look like it was the monsters. Oh, she's explaining what happened at the clinic. Right. I'm not sure what the broken glass and some girl has to do with it, though. Is she the girl?
Maybe.
Trying to do what she needs to do, but no matter what she does, it just keeps getting worse.
If you're Sarah's brother, how do you react to this? Do you react like he is right now, kind of calmly?
I don't know. What is the right answer? He was gonna turn her in.
He actually said that?
Well, I mean, he told Kotri, right? And then they were gonna go get her.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But...
Yeah, so...
All right, so Talisman's on the floor again.
They get back to the clinic, and Kenny realizes that doesn't mean anything good.
Yeah. And he has to do the thing he was so scared of doing, only it's much more personal this time. There's Gina on the floor next to the chess set. So it's not his father's blood on the chess set, it's actually Gina's.
Right. Kotri's basically saying, hey, look, you don't need to go in there.
Yeah, we all know what's in there.
Right. It doesn't have to be you that goes in there. But, of course, Kenny doesn't listen to that, and he just goes in.
Yeah, and we're heading into the boiler room, which is the stairs to the basement in the boiler room?
I guess so.
Because for whatever reason, this is where he got it, right? Was in the boiler room. Or maybe he heard the noise and came upstairs and...
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
I'm not really sure, but that's where he is in the boiler room. And this boiler room's important. This is where we're going to get the autopsy in season 2.
That is a pretty huge, bloody mess. Worse than I typically think we've seen the monsters do. Maybe because this is fresh. And yeah, Kenny's pretty despondent, and he's about to give his very dead, very gutted father a hug, and I would just not be doing that. I would not be able to do that.
And you can see the look on Christy's face. She feels for Kenny. She's not just upset about the deaths. She should be upset about her nurse being killed.
Right.
But she's just more concerned. You can tell. You can see it in her eyes that it's Kenny that she's worried about here and his feelings. Not, what happened. And then we bounce back to where we started the episode, which is him cutting that tree down. Again, now we know why he's covered in blood. And Boyd finds him.
The surrogate father. Yeah, Kenny, for some reason, thinks that the family should not be a colony house.
It's not a place for a family. He
Right.
knows that. He just spent a night there. He's like, there shouldn't be kids here.
But it's kind of funny that he's concerned about that after what he just experienced and what happened to him.
Yeah. Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely what we should all aspire to be. And I think that's typical. He doesn't want to think about his grief in that moment, but so he's kind of putting his mind somewhere else. But
and now he's explaining why he's cutting the tree down, because the blood got all over the chess pieces, and he needs to make new ones. So he always played chess with his dad. It always ended the same way.
Right.
And you can get a good look at it here that his badge that he wears is a state trooper badge. So at some point in history, a state trooper got stuck here, and that's where they got that from.
People criticize occasionally. Occasionally, I see criticisms of Ricky Hayes' performances. I don't agree with that at all. He's like dynamite in this episode, and he's great throughout the series.
I think this whole cast is amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really, they hit some magic. Of course, there's some big names here, like
Harold
Perrineau, and a lot of people I'd never heard of before, too.
Right.
Some people just because, they're in Canada, and I maybe not have seen the things that they're in, and other people who are just starting out, and don't have a lot of credits to their name, and I think they all just, this cast works amazing together.
Absolutely.
And so it's been over 24 hours now, and he's finally back home, and wipes that 96 days off the board.
It's been 0 now.
It's been 0, and we had 2 nights in a row of death.
Carnage and death, which always seems to happen when new people arrive.
So we've lost 5 people?
Yeah, something like that.
Megan and Lauren.
Yep.
Toby, Mr. Lou, and Gina.
Right.
And if you follow the theory of, the place keeps their population control, we've added 5 new people. Well, we lost 6. We lost Toby. I already counted him.
Right.
So we're actually up 1 person still, yes? Because 5 new people are here. Well, here's the boat key.
Ah, yes.
To Boyd.
Buoyed. That's cute.
And
I don't think I ever noticed that.
Yeah, he'll be having that. We'll see that key a lot before we actually learn its story. But he carries it with him. And Julie's being a little nicer to Ethan now, telling him a story. He's wearing these pajamas, which he complains about because they're scratchy. I wonder if those were Victor's.
They might have been. Maybe they were made of corduroy. And Ethan's looking out the window, and Ethan's saying that he's looking at nothing. But I think this is where we get introduced to the boy in white for the first time. And there he is, smiling, standing stiffly.
And that's not ominous at all.
Right, and that is where the episode ends.
That's the episode.
Yeah, it's pretty clear that my memories of this thing are just all the way jumbled.
All over the place.
I was looking through the episode titles of Season 1, and I said to you, in Season 2, if you tell me an episode title, I have a general idea of what happened in that episode. Season 1, I can't do that, because I didn't go through it quite as much. But,
right, and we didn't stop to talk about each one. So Season 2, we podcasted episode by episode.
Right.
Detailed notes, 10 pages of notes, and talked about every scene in detail.
And we watched the episode 4 times.
Right. We didn't do that for Season 1. So we started the podcast on Season 2. We did a Season 1 recap. And we spent maybe 5 to 10 minutes talking about each episode as we went through it. But yeah, we haven't done a scene-by-scene analysis of Season 1. So...
All right, do we have anything else to say about the second episode of From?
No. I'm surprised even rewatching it as many times as I've seen this. This is the first time I'm picking up on stuff it was raining that night. Things that, you didn't necessarily care to notice the first time. Okay.
Right.
But we get later in the story and things start becoming more important, So in a story like this especially, that's all a big mystery... you have to rewatch it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's so many details I'm going to use Dark as an example.
Yes.
You know, Dark, an amazing show on Netflix, 3 seasons. It's a German show. If you haven't watched it, go watch Dark. It's amazing. Every little tiny detail in that story becomes part of something else in the story.
Yeah.
And if you don't rewatch it, you're going to not connect all those dots. And if you're not paying attention, you're not going to connect all those dots because literally you can't blink because every moment is a detail
Right.
that's involved in something else. And it's just beautiful how everything connects. And I'm really hopeful with From that maybe not every tiny detail, but that a lot of this stuff's going to all fit together. Because right now, after 2 seasons, it's like,
right, it's all
there's
up
a lot.
All up in the air.
There's a lot going on.
But, you know, I've had people tell me that with each new episode, they'll take that and then go back and rewatch the entire series again. Like, just to see how it fits in.
Yeah, because you'll see things. And it doesn't matter how many times you've watched it. We're always going to see new things. This is one of those shows that I'm excited for once it's over, watching the entire series in a binge.
Right.
Now that you know the entire story and you know where it goes.
All 50
to catch all of those details.
Yeah, all 50 seasons of it. All right, so do we have anything else to say about this episode?
No, I think that was good. Good stuff.
All right.
You tell us what you have to say. What did we miss in this episode?
We would like to hear from
comments
you.
do you have after rewatching the episode or about the things that we had to say? How do you like all the introductions of these characters? We still didn't meet Mrs. Liu.
Right. 2 episodes in.
Yeah, we
most
met
important
Victor.
character.
I think we've met all of our other main cast at this point. We still haven't met some of our side characters, like Clara or Dale.
Right.
We've had very little time with Tom. I don't think we'll see him again for a couple episodes.
Yeah, we didn't really get much of Tom. I think probably the scene that sticks out in my mind is the one with Jade in the bar.
Right.
That's I think the next time we might even see him.
Yeah.
So yeah, we would like to hear from you. Stacie can be reached
I
at.
can be reached on Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, at TVN Coupon Talk.
Alright, if you like this video and want to support the channel, there are a number of ways to do so. You can follow me on Twitter at Core Productions. You can join my Core Productions Facebook page. You can buy something from the Core Productions store on Zazzle, as we demonstrated last week.
Yeah.
Lots of cool new products.
Like our shirt.
This shirt. You can buy me a coffee, which is a new way to support content creators such as ourselves. And of course, you can like, share, and comment on this video, as well as subscribing to our channel. This is Dave and Stacie from Core Productions, signing off.